you guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm very excited for today's video, although it is not going to be the most exciting update in my rolling Project 10 pan. I will say the month of July has been filled with a lot of no makeup, not even like no makeup, strictly no makeup days. I have taken some time off of work. I've been out in the sun just trying to like enjoy the summer with my daughter. I had some fun events in July, so I think makeup diaries will already be up, but like I feel like the makeup diary days were like truly the only days that I was wearing makeup throughout the month of July. So I have one empty, but it was an anticipated empty that I had already rolled the product in for, and I have a little bit of progress on some other products, but as mentioned, it's not going to be the most exciting project pan update, but it will be an update nevertheless. So if you are interested in how I'm doing in the 12 products that I'm working on in this rolling Project 10 pan, but we chose 12 because I have one eyeshadow quad and one blush that I just wanted to try throughout the year. Stay tuned. First, if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel and you like project panning content, talking about eyeshadow palettes, or just hanging out and chit-chatting about makeup, that's what we do over on this channel, so I hope you consider subscribing before moving on. And other than that, let's jump into the video. Okay, you guys, as always, I'm gonna start with my blush and with my eyeshadow quad, just because those were two products that I rolled in at the beginning of the year, knowing that I wasn't going to likely complete either of them fully throughout the year. So up first, I have my Kosas Blush is Life blush in the shade Bliss. And I think I've reached for this a couple of times. It's just a little mini. This is what it looks like. And I definitely am getting a little bit of hard pan on the blush, but nothing crazy, and it's something that like easily comes off with tape. This is a very, very like neutral, wearable, everyday blush. Like it can really be sheared out to be really nothing, or just like the lightest like pin, like your cheeks are just like pinched, and it offers a bit of glow, which I personally love. I just, as mentioned, have not been wearing makeup that much, and so this has been kind of neglected the last several months. I don't think we're gonna see a lot of progress. I would like to try and reach for this a little bit more throughout the month of August, just because I do feel like this could be a really beautiful kind of sheer wash of color that adds just a slight glow to the cheeks. That would be really beautiful for the end of the summer. I have different blushes that I typically like to reach for as we transition into the fall and then the winter. So I fear if I don't get a little bit more use on this, that we're really not gonna make progress at all on this. But I just kind of wanted to see what blush progress would look like. That's why I rolled this in. I had no intention of finishing this up. I have a large blush collection. I like to rotate through my blushes. I've loved the blushes in my face palettes. So I guess come the end of the year, maybe this is just a good indication that even if I'm trying to like focus on a blush, it's just, we're never gonna get that much use on a single blush in a year. All right, then I have my Rowan Mood Forever quad, which I have had several months of really good progress on this quad. And I will say, one of the pans has expanded significantly in this quad, and we do have a new pan, which is really exciting, but I only reached for this 2 times. So as of the last update, I had reached for this quad 53 total times. I am now at 55 uses on the quad for the year, which I'm really excited about because we do still have 5 months left in the year, right? August, September, October, November, December. Yes, 5 months left in the year. And I am already to the amount of uses that I had in my 75 degrees quad last year, which is the quad that I worked on. So already we're tied with last year's progress on my quad. But I would love to hit at least 100 uses, which I think I'll have no problem doing. Again, sound like a broken record. I wasn't reaching for makeup that much in July. So let me show you what the quad is. Actually, well, I'll post the pictures over to the side. Let me just show you what the quad is looking like now. And I hope you'll be able to see that we have a really large pan in this, not really large, but like a good size pan in this bottom corner now, which for the longest time, it would be like we have a little baby pan showing. Then the next update, it'd be like we have no pan showing. Because this is a really emollient, kind of squishy texture, it's just one of those that like every time I'd run my hand through it, it'd be like we have a pan this time, and then I'd use it again and then it'd be like the pan's covered up. But now now the pan is pretty well uncovered, and then I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but I do now have a little baby pan on this shade up here, which is a really beautiful kind of satin creamy golden sort of shade. I will say this was not a shade that I loved when I started using this quad, but I definitely have gained a newfound appreciation for that shade. And so let me go through each shade and how many times I've used everything. So this shade right here up in the corner, I had reached for 34 times as of the last update, and I have now reached for this shade one additional time, putting me at 35 total uses. The shade next to it, the one with the largest pan, is such a beautiful pink shade. I have 21 total uses on this shade. I did not reach for this one at all last month, so this still has 21 uses. I will say when I'm wanting a pink, I've been mixing these two together to try and get more use out of those two shades. But I will eventually go back to this. I'm hoping to at least finish, I think I could finish these two shades in the quad. I think that that would be doable. Anyway, moving on. This one down in the corner here, I had reached for 23 times as of the last update. I did reach for this one an additional 2 times. So I'm now at 25 total uses on this shade down here. And then this shade right here, the last remaining shadow without a pan, I had reached for 17 times as of the last update. I did reach for this 1 time, and so I'm at 18 total uses here. So I feel like if I were to put forth effort, I do believe I could have a pan in this shade come the next update. I've really been enjoying laying this shadow down all over the lid and then layering this on top, and it really does give me this really beautiful kind of mid-toned pink that just wears beautifully throughout the day. I really do love this quad. I am definitely going to miss it, and this is something that I could absolutely see myself repurchasing after I finish this quad, just because I love all 4 of these shades. I think they're very easy, everyday wearable shades. Perfect for quick on the go makeup, perfect for everyday office makeup. I really love this quad. So that is where we stand with my Rowan quad. Okay, let's move on to my Too Faced Kissing Lip Jelly. I told you guys last update, I was really close to being done with this gloss, and I have taken the stopper out. I think if I were to like turn this upside down, maybe I could scrape just a little bit more out of the bottom, but as of right now, I really have gotten everything that I can get. So I'm calling this an empty. We're calling it done. I really enjoyed this. In its place, I rolled in the Glamlite Daphne gloss, which I accidentally left at work, but I am working my way through that. It is a really beautiful sheer pink sparkly gloss. I like to have a pink sparkly gloss in my collection, so I could see myself returning back to this. This is a really beautiful, like perfect hybrid between a lip oil and a lip gloss. It's not ultra thin like a lip oil, but it's not sticky like a lip gloss. And the glitter flecks in this are not gritty at all. So it's a very smooth texture on your lips. I did really enjoy this one. And I saw that they recently came out with like a apricot colored one, kind of like a peachy one. And I was like, with sparkle. And I was like, oh my gosh, why must you taunt me with your darkness? So maybe I'll need to pick that one up. But I am trying to work my way through some lip products before I bring in more lip products, because I've just purchased way too many lip products. I always am purchasing way too many lip products. So I'm excited to have this as an empty. Let's move on to 2 more not super exciting updates. This is probably still my most used product in all of the things that I'm working on. It's my Ilia eyeliner in the shade Dusk. This is where we're at. I told you guys I was tracking this, and then I don't know what happened a couple months ago. I rolled this up and it had like grown. Either that I don't know if I was tracking, or I don't know what happened. We are never gonna finish this year. I honestly think if I were to still work on this, and I use this at least probably 4 or 5 times a week, I think if I were to continue to work on this for 2 to 3 more years, it would last me 2 to 3 more years. It is truly the longest lasting eyeliner I have ever come across. So still working on that. And then I have my Merit Beverly Hills Cheek Color. I have not been great about reaching for this. I think I maybe reached for this 1 or 2 times. I feel like we're getting so close to the end. I just need to like use this, but I'm also trying to finish up my Bite Beauty liquid blush, like the, I literally have it on my cheeks today underneath another blush. What is it? Like the Daycation blush. Trying to finish that up. So I've definitely been using that this past month and kind of neglecting my Merit. I'm still hoping I can finish this before the end of the year, because it would be super exciting to have a blush empty. I don't know if it's gonna happen. We'll see. I really want it to. I don't want to give up on myself, but I don't know. Okay, last month I rolled in a lip liner to replace the Vive Velvet Sands lip liner that I was working on, and I rolled in the Jante Blue lip liner. I used it a couple times and I realized it smelled terrible. And so I was like, I just shouldn't be putting this on my lips. So I decided to swap that out. I literally just threw that in the trash, and I decided to swap it out with the Makeup Forever lip liner in Anywhere Caffeine. And I reached for this a good amount of times in July, especially considering how little I was wearing makeup. I did get this in a set last holiday season, and it was like a mini size, although still like a good size lip liner. I do have markings because when I decided to swap them out, I marked this. I believe I sharpened this once since rolling it in, so there's a little bit of movement. And I really do like this lip liner shade. It's just like my perfect pinky brownie nude. So I think I can get a ton of use out of this. I don't necessarily know that I'll finish this before the end of the year, but I am excited to track my progress on a Makeup Forever lip liner. And then another product that I rolled in last update, I've reached this a couple times, but honestly not enough to really track any progress at all. I rolled in the Glossier Future Dew Oil Serum Hybrid, and this is where I was when I rolled it in. I really have not made enough progress to make a new line marking. Again, wasn't wearing makeup the most, and this is something that I use as a primer, but especially in the summer and almost all times of the year, I prefer a gripping primer. So this is just not the first thing I think to reach for. I would love to make some progress in August because I feel like that would be probably my best chance at getting some good consistent use, because it is a very beautiful and glowy product. I don't necessarily know if this is going to be an empty by the end of the year, but it would be nice to even get like halfway through this product before the end of the year. So still working on that. That was not a good update for that one. I also don't think we're gonna have significant progress on my Rare Beauty bronzing stick in the shade Happy Soul. I am so confident I will finish this before the end of the year. This is how much I have left. Like, we really do not have a lot of this product left. I truly, like, I wasn't even using my makeup in my makeup bag because I really was going so many days throughout the month of July without any makeup at all. With a little bit of effort, I think I could finish this in probably 2 months time. So I am so confident I'll finish this up, which would be exciting because we love to see a bronzer empty at the year-end empties. And then speaking of bronzer, I don't know if it was last month, or I think it actually may have been last month, that I rolled in my Vive Duo. All right, my Vive Duo in the shade Toasted, and I had a huge pan in the powder bronzer. So I actually ended up repressing it. I can't remember if I had showed you guys my repressed version. I hope I have pictures. I hope I have pictures. I actually have reached for this quite a bit. I feel like I was pretty focused on this just because I was like, okay, it would be nice to just bust through this. And it is definitely something that works best for me in the summertime. I will say, as I've been consistently using this, I'm not loving it as much as I remember. I honestly feel like the shade, I feel like it's just a little bit too deep for me, even when I am self-tan. And I'm definitely comparing it to my Dior bronzer, and I'm like, I just feel like the Dior bronzer looks a lot more flattering on me, but we have so little product left. I'm like, we're gonna get through this. So I'm gonna keep working on this throughout the month of August. I think with consistent use, we could be pretty close. I feel like because of the way it's repressed, each time I dip into it, like, it is pretty powdery. It could also be because I've repressed this and I'm not the best at repressing, and just the way that it blends now that it's repressed isn't the way that I love it. Regardless, I also don't even know what's happening with Give Beauty. Like, I haven't looked in a while, but I know like a lot of stuff was on sale, at least at Sephora. So anyway, I don't even know if this is like, if I can get this anymore, but I do still have the whole like cream bronzer contour situation happening up here. This product is on my 25 products I want to pan in 2025 list. I did say that I wasn't confident I could fully finish this pan up before the end of the year. I definitely wanted to finish the powder, which I am confident I will finish. I don't think I will finish the cream, but I'd love to have a pan in the cream contour before the end of the year. And I will say I did reach for this, I think like 3-ish times. Again, I hope I have a picture of this. I don't know if I do. If not, I'm definitely taking pictures today, so we'll get some pictures to track, but that's my update with the Give Duo. All right, then I had my Oma by Sharon C foundation, which I rolled in much earlier this year. I was almost all the way through the foundation, and then I decided to mix in my Tula SPF, like tinted SPF, with the last remaining bits of the Oma foundation. And when I mixed it back together, we kind of moved back up to this line marking here. Last update we were here, and this update we are about here. So we are about halfway through the product again. I will say I haven't loved this so much the last month or two that I've been using it, but I am like, now this is basically 2 foundations that would be an empty if I finish this up. The Oma by Sharon C is such an old product, and honestly the Tula is such an old product in my collection. I need to move these out. So I do want to hyper focus on this. I do want to empty this out. I think it'll take several more months to do so, and it's probably going to be one of those products that takes me right up until the end of the year, but I am hopeful that this will still be an empty, especially because now it is 2 foundations mixed together, and I won't count the Tula as an empty until this is an empty. So this is technically 2 products as an empty if I can finish this off. That's where we sit there. All right, then we have my Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Perfect and Glow Concealer. Last time I did not mark this, but now we do have some good windowing happening up here. Obviously, there's still a ton of product left in here, but I did mark the concealer, and this is something I will say I'm reaching for maybe about half of the time that I do my makeup. It is not the most full coverage concealer. It is not my favorite concealer by any means, but it also is very expensive, and I don't want it to go neglected just because it's not my favorite. It still looks good on the skin. It's not a bad concealer. It just doesn't necessarily offer me exactly what I'm looking for in terms of coverage underneath the eyes. But for every day, it works just fine. So I'm gonna keep working on this. I don't necessarily think that this will be an empty by the end of the year, just because concealer does take a long time to get through, at least in my experience and the way that I use concealer. But I would like to make it through. Again, if I could even get through like halfway through this concealer, that would be exciting. I didn't purchase this until the end of 2024, so it's not super old in my collection by any means. I mostly just rolled it in because I did not want it to go neglected. All right, next up I have my Kosas Cloud Set Powder. And when I filmed, I had filmed my update before I took pictures last video, and then I like got ready the next day and actually ended up hitting a pan in this and then had to take my pictures after. So I had just hit pan basically last update, and I have definitely expanded the pan a little bit. I don't know if it's a ton, but the pan is expanding. This is my favorite pressed setting powder for setting all over my face. I feel like it doesn't look super heavy on my skin. It doesn't ultra dry out my skin. Like, I feel like my skin still looks like my skin, which is what I prefer. I don't have super oily skin that I'm really trying to like lock in. So I absolutely love this. This is my second Kosas powder that I'm going through, and this is something that I absolutely will purchase again when I finish. I keep saying that I hope this makes it to the next Sephora VIB sale. Like, I would love to just be finishing this as the Sephora VIB sale is happening, so I can get a discount when I repurchase. And to be honest, even if I finish it a little bit before then at this point, like, I can probably just wait until the sale. I think this will take me at least still like 2.5 to 3 months. So I probably will make it to the sale. I do believe I can empty this out before the end of the year, which is really exciting. There's definitely still a little bit of like, it's not totally flat all the way across. There's definitely still a bit of like a mound or a hill, certain areas of the powder. So I do still think it's gonna take a good chunk of time to get through, but it's really exciting to have a pan in my Kosas Cloud Set Powder and to be working my way through this. And the final product I have to update you on is my Henriksen Pout Preserve in Blood Orange. I didn't mark this last update because I said that there was definitely still like an air bubble to work on getting out, which I do think the air bubble is now out. I've definitely been working hard on this. I don't know if I took a picture last time to like get a good idea of like where we were at, but I'm gonna mark this. Okay, I'm gonna mark this right here. I do still think there's some air trapped in there. I'm gonna say we're about halfway through this product, but we could be even just a little bit more as that air continues to kind of move its way out of the product. I have been using this as my main car gloss, which is like the lip product I have in my car to reapply. I always talk about I have a 35-minute commute to work, and then on the way home it's usually an hour plus, so we like to put lip product on while we're sitting in traffic. And I think I could finish this in 2 to 3 more months. I feel like when I get to about the halfway mark, it starts to go relatively quickly. At least that's what I found in my experience, and I've emptied out 2 other Henriksen Pout Preserves in the past. It'll be really exciting because if I finish this up, I think this will be 3 total this year. Because I think the other 2 I finished both were within this year, unless one was at the tail end of last year. Anyway, I absolutely Love this. It is my favorite like lip gloss lip treatment product, especially for during the day. My one complaint about these though is that each specific Pout preserve has a very chemical scent and taste to whatever it is scented and tastes like. And blood orange is by far the worst in my opinion. It doesn't go away. Some of the other ones that go away, blood orange just smells and tastes not the best. So not something I personally would repurchase after finishing, but I still like what it does for my lips. So I am hoping to finish this off in the next couple of months. And after that, you guys, that is going to wrap up and conclude today's update in my rolling project 10 pan. I would love to know if you finished off any products this month. If you hit a pan on anything, let a girl know what your most recent panning accomplishment was. I love hearing from you guys. And other than that, thank you so much for sticking around to watch today's video and for supporting me and my channel as you guys always do. I love you guys so much, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.